Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. We're going to do an overview of the different training programs that we offer. And I'm grateful to those that have been able to join me. And this is an interactive time together. So if you have questions, feel free to interrupt me, or if easier, you can also post them in the chat room. Okay. So I guess you could say our premier type of coaching is for caregiving coaches. We call them certified caregiving consultants. So they're life coaches. They can work with family caregivers, former family caregivers. And really what we look to is to ask this question of our clients: how can I be with you? And then we have another type of service that you can add to a small business or that you can use to start your small business. And that's a caregiving specialist. And I consider them to be like a virtual assistant for family caregivers. And for the specialist, I think of the question that we ask our clients is, what can I do for you? So it's about taking on responsibilities, taking on tasks, helping that family caregiver get organized. So our consultants typically are in a small business that they started or work in a small business where they've added caregiving coaching. Our consultants make money by working with clients one-on-one, in group settings, delivering workshops, being paid for providing content, and being paid for being a social media influencer. So I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you in a follow-up email tomorrow. So I'm not going to go through everything on each slide, but you'll have a copy of the slide so you can see what it is that our consultants have achieved. Okay. And when I think about my business, which is the Caregiving Years Training Academy, I think about creating opportunities and preventing regrets. That's my passion, really, around creating opportunities and helping people think through and strategize and create plans so that they feel like they can minimize regrets. The truth is, I don't want to be in a business of one. I want to be a part of a movement. And that's why I do this overview, because I'd love for you guys to think about how you can get involved in what we're doing. As someone who has cared for her parents and also launched a couple different small businesses, I see the parallels between both experiences. And that's why I think it's so important, if you're going to start serving family caregivers through your business or through another individual's business, that you connect with a community of support. In addition, I also think it's important that as professionals who serve and support family caregivers, we're comfortable being present to others who are in painful situations. We know that the caregiving experience and after caregiving ends can be very painful. And so what I teach in our training programs is what I've learned in the 33 years that I've been sitting with family caregivers and being a support for them during their painful days. We know that mental health is a challenge every family caregiver experiences. We know that the pandemic really took a toll on family caregivers and their mental well-being. One of the goals of our consultant training is to really be a presence to help that family caregiver with their mental well-being. It's one of the reasons that we do the work that we do. And when I think about what family caregivers need, it's that they need to be understood and not fixed. And in our training program, we take a deep dive into understanding the personal caregiving experience. So we bring that sense of understanding into our work with family caregivers. Certainly, we understand what we went through in our personal caregiving experience. And what the training does is broaden your perspective, open you up to see the universal themes that happen during a caregiving experience. Family caregivers want to be understood, and it's very difficult for them oftentimes to have someone in their life, like a family member or a friend, who can truly just take the time to understand them. You'll know from your own experiences that people want to jump in and fix our situation, and it feels like they want to fix us. And we're not wrong during our caregiving experience. We may be overwhelmed and experiencing difficult challenges, but we're not wrong. We don't need to be fixed. We just need to be understood. And so I really believe that family caregivers need our work more than ever. We know that there's a tremendous shortage of direct care workers. I was also reading a survey today that talked about how many healthcare professionals want to leave their work in the next year. We're not going to have enough healthcare professionals to do the work. We don't have enough healthcare professionals to do the work. More and more families are going to take on more and more responsibilities, which is why they need someone like a coach and a specialist to help them manage the experience. One of the things that I really have committed to is updating our training material regularly, because things change regularly, and I want our content that our training program participants experience to feel relevant and timely, so that when you connect with a family caregiver, you are connecting with them based on what is happening right now in our world, in our community, and in their experience. So I think it's so awesome to create successful experiences for individuals. And over the years, I've had so many failures that I figured out how to be successful. And I just read an article this morning that talked about how we have to get used to failing because it's part of our success. So it's made me think, okay, I need to embrace the failures, right? But I have started an online support group or an online community for family caregivers. I was one of the first ones to do that in 1996. And so over the years, in trying different programs and services and projects and events, I figured things out because I've gone out there and just tried it to see what would work. And so I figured out what works. So we do events on a regular basis. Jesus, you were part of our event last spring, I think. Yeah. So our events are well recommended and well received. And I think that really just reflects the type of programs and content we're creating. And what I really believe is that healing comes from opportunities, and family caregivers are looking to be healed in their experience, and creating opportunities for them is one of the ways we can do that. I hosted a national caregiving conference for 4 years between 2016 and 2019. And every participant, actually every presenter, had to have a personal caregiving experience. Because when you have an opportunity to present because of your personal experience, you have an opportunity to feel that healing, because it transforms the experience from the day-to-day living into a workshop that touches others. Okay, so just a little bit about me. My dad died in July. I have to update this slide. And I helped my dad for just about 20 years. So something that I think is important for people to know is that we're not training certified nursing assistants or home health aides. We don't focus on a disease process. And we don't really give you the logistics of starting a small business, because there's so many great resources in your community, like the Small Business Administration, that can do that for you. Our training programs are for those who have a personal caregiving experience, about supporting the family caregiver, and about becoming either a volunteer, like a support group leader, or a business owner who offers coaching services to serve family caregivers. So here is stats that came out last fall, a year ago, that I still always just step back and think, wow, when I read them. So the reason that I share this is because oftentimes people will say to me, but will family caregivers pay for coaching services? So in this market research study, they learned that 80% of family caregivers are interested in paying for products or services that help them. But here's the rub, 90% can't identify companies that can help them, which is why it's so important that family caregivers have a local resource, like, for instance, a certified caregiving consultant who can guide and support and encourage them. So when I think about big umbrella viewpoint of what we do, we're specialists in the practice of family caregiving. Okay, so what we can help you do is make a difference, start support groups, and add services to your small business. So we have different types of training program. We have master classes that educate you about the personal caregiving experience. These master classes also are added to the core of our training programs. We have an advocate training program. It's 1 hour. And for those of you who have joined me live, you're going to be able to access that at no charge. It's a way for you to experience our training program and to think through what it could look like for you to put a message out into the world of how you want to help family caregivers. We have facilitator training if you want to start a support group for family caregivers, a support group for those who are grieving, and a support group in the workplace. So something like an employee resource group. We have training that helps you out in the world connect with family caregivers. That could be just something you do as a gift to your community, like a guide. A guide delivers the 6 stages of caregiving workshop in the community, in person or online. We have a conflict resolution strategist, and I think about, for instance, a financial planner or an elder law attorney who's dealing with a lot of conflict within the family. They could take that and add it. Good, I'm glad the advocacy program sounds good. Yeah, you guys are going to get free access to it. It's 1 hour, and then you get a certificate, and then you can call yourself a certified caregiving advocate. Okay. So I'm going to kind of quickly go through these slides. Again, I'm going to send you a copy of the PowerPoint so you can review all this information. But I'm just going to stop here. I really wanted you to know that I didn't create a program for our consultants in 2016 and then stop with what I created. I've really added on and expanded the program. When I first launched it, it was approved for 8 CEUs, and we've just been approved for 75 CEUs. So if you're a nurse, for instance, you can earn continuing education units for completing our program. So our wheels are conversation starters that our facilitators use in support groups, our consultants use in one-on-one coaching and in group coaching. And if you've participated in any of our free planning sessions that we offer every month, or in any of our events or workshops, you've actually experienced the different wheels with me. I use them for workshops and events. There are 60 some different wheels. And we also have turned the wheels into planning sessions. So we have a family emergency plan that the consultants can deliver to their clients, and the wheels make up the plan. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go through just to let you know, again, I've added, I've expanded. Oh, it's 75 CEUs now. There we go. Okay. We did add a specialty in our coach training catalog, which is our Comfort Care Family Coach. And that's if you want to specialize in helping family caregivers when their caree begins palliative care. So you work with the family caregiver once a caree starts palliative care, through hospice care, and then after caregiving ends. Okay. So we have our certified caregiving guide, and that's someone who delivers a workshop in the community that we've created for them. The workshop is based on a concept I developed in 1997, which stages the caregiving experience. It's a evidence-based workshop. We've been delivering it for, I can't really do the math, let's say 25 years. And so we have evidence that when family caregivers attend this workshop, they feel better prepared for their future. They understand the emotions they feel are normal, and they have stress and coping management strategies. So our newest training, and I'm going to stop for a year, I hope, and not add anything else, is a systems navigator. Family caregivers navigate 17 caregiving systems throughout their experience. And oftentimes people will talk about care coordination. That's a piece of what family caregivers do. And as a systems navigator, you help that family caregiver navigate all the systems. This is not something that we teach you how to price, like our consultant training and our specialist training includes information about how do you charge for services. We don't include this in this program, but if you already have an existing program or existing business, you could add this in and determine how you want to price it. I've added this because there's a good chance that Medicare will reimburse providers who offer systems navigation. So this would be a training, for instance, that a provider could offer to their employees so that their employees are reimbursed for system navigation. I'm getting over laryngitis, so my voice is still a little funny, so I apologize for that. We're going to split out our training and our credentialing so that the Caregiving Years Training Academy provides the training, and then accreditation comes through a nonprofit we started called the Caring Board. Okay, so oftentimes people say, well, why would I want to become certified? It's because I believe it's so important that you bring your best skills into your interactions, and services that you offer to family caregivers. And because I've been meeting daily with family caregivers for the past 33 years, I really have figured out what family caregivers want. I bring in my life coach training, plus my experience with family caregivers, plus all the research that I've been doing since 1995. In addition, because I figured it out, I save you time. So at the end of our consultant program, for instance, you have tools that you can start charging clients for. You don't have to figure out, what do I do? I figured it out. And then you start with what I give you, and then you broaden it to include what you develop based on what your clients tell you they want. One of the reasons that people will come to me about the training program is they will say, I tried to do this on my own. I tried to figure it out. I just got stuck. I didn't know what to do and how to start. We help you do that. And we give you such a deep dive into the caregiving experience and teach you great skills to use that your interactions with family caregivers are meaningful and empowering and transforming. One of our consultants said to me the other day, all my interactions are so much better with everyone in my life since I've taken the training program, because we teach you these really helpful communication strategies that change how you have a conversation. So when I think about what qualifies you to take one of our training programs, it's having that personal caregiving experience. It's being compassionate, open-minded, and curious. Our clients are our teachers. Family caregivers are our teachers. And when I keep that perspective, I really start to add in information and program and services that are helpful, because I learn so much from family caregivers. We also want to have peace about our own experience, because when we're talking with family caregivers and clients, we want to make sure that we're fully present in their story and not thinking about ours. And so peace is important for that reason. It's hard work, but the thing is, you'll be part of a community when you complete one of our programs. So just an idea about some of the events that we offer. We have different initiatives. Okay. So here's the list of the programs that we have available. Again, I think about it as a volunteer program would be one of our facilitators to start a support group. Our programs that help you in a small business are our specialists, our coach, our consultant, and then our educator program. And as an educator, you have more workshops and presentations that you can deliver in your community at different conferences as a keynote. And we help you charge for that as well. Okay, so that is our quick overview. And I just wanted to let you know that I do have a special deal. If you're interested and you want to start and you feel like, you know what, I want to start at a lower price point, you could start by becoming a specialist. And again, that's a virtual assistant where you help a family caregiver get organized, manage tasks, and take off items from their to-do list. It's a really nice way to start working with family caregivers. You also can become a guide, which means you go out into your workplace, into your community, and deliver our workshop about the 6 caregiving stages. I'll include information about this when I do the follow-up email tomorrow. But if you're interested, I also can put the link in the chat room. Okay. So I'm going to give you your gift before we close today, but I would love to hear what questions you have about everything that we just went through. And I know I did it pretty quickly. I don't like to get too stuck in the weeds, but I wanted to give you enough information that you feel like, okay, I know where I want to start, and I have some follow-up questions. So what do you guys think?
No, perfect. I would love to receive the rest of the information and follow up, because I made up my mind. I would really want to change my career and become a caregiver and help more people that are for what I've been doing in the past. I continue to be a caregiver to my wife. I'm very motivated because I see the positive out of helping others and advocating and listening to people, and telling our story is very important. That's something that I learned in the past. When you tell your story, you're helping others. So definitely I will continue to be in touch with you. I'll receive the information and continue. And I just want to, make sure that I'm getting the right certifications, especially for what I'm doing now and also thinking about the future.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so smart to start where you are and then build out from there.
Okay. Perfect.
I think sometimes we feel so passionate about our work and see the need that we think I've got to start big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to start where you are and then build out from that.
Okay.
We all started small and then we built out day by day, day by day, day by day. It all adds up. Okay, how does it sound to the rest of you in terms of thinking through a good fit for your, I guess, your goals? Yeah, so Kathy is just writing in the chat room to me that it's really thinking through, how do you help family caregivers navigate? I'll tell you what, and people misunderstand what we're navigating. And the reason that I started counting how many systems is because I really wanted people to understand the complexity of the experience. And what people kind of overlook is that it's not just the healthcare system, it's not just payers, it's not just providers, but it's our own family system. And if you start to think about the family system, then you see the subsystems. So for instance, in my family, it was my relationship with my dad, my relationship to my parents as a couple, because oftentimes I felt like their marriage counselor the last couple of years of their life. And then it's also managing the relationships that I have with siblings And then their relationship with my parents too. I mean, it was so complicated sometimes. And we have a sibling who is a challenge. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, she's a challenge. And so she broke my mom's heart at the end of my mom's life. And so trying to manage my mom's heartbreak was difficult too. If you think about discharge day from the hospital, they never ask you when is a good time for you to have your carry discharged. They never say to you, what meetings do you have at work? What projects are you managing at work? You just have to figure out when to be there to be ready for discharge. And you never know when it's going to happen. So the system doesn't ask us, but we figure it out. We figure out discharge day, how we're going to manage work responsibilities, how we're going to organize the family, how we're going to make sure the equipment is there, the meds are picked up, our carry arrives home with everything he or she needs. We figure it out. We are the only one who touches all the systems, which is why system navigation is so important. So there's the training for just the system navigator, but in our consultant and family caregiver coach program, we include system navigation in that training. So over the years, I've developed different concepts about how to explain the caregiving experience because it just feels unexplainable sometimes, right? You're just like without words about what just happened. How is this possible? So I wanted to be able to create frameworks so we could understand it. So the 6 caregiving stages is a framework. The 17 caregiving systems is a framework. And then I have another one around compassion fatigue, which is the 12 caregiving fatigues. So compassion fatigue is an umbrella term. We have to get specific of what we're weary of. We get tired of cooperating. We get tired of feeling guilty. We get tired of worrying. And if we can be specific about what's wearing us out, we can look to a specific solution. Compassion fatigue is too broad for us to figure out, well, how do I help my compassion fatigue? What does that mean in my day? And we can be specific about what it means in this day in order to feel better. Okay. I just want to check and make sure everybody has at least some good information to get started. Okay. I'll do one last call for any questions that you might have.
You were going to post the link, one of the slides on the chat?
Yep. I'm going to stop the recording and then I'll post the link. Okay. Thanks to those who are watching our archive. Thanks to those who are joining me for the live meeting. And those of you in the live meeting, just hold on and I'll make sure you get the advocate training for free. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Denise.